Hey guys, welcome back to another Rec Room tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to start a little tutorial series of how you can make your very own terrain and landscape. As you can see, we're in just completely empty world, and that's going to give us our baseline of training. In this part, we're going to be using the diamond shape and helping us with our overall shape of our landscape. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to our backpack and of course pull out our maker pen and make sure you have it favorited so you can always pull it out from behind your back. So now that we have that done, let's start with the basics. We're going to open our palette, and once we have that open, make sure you have uniform shapes off for this tutorial. So self-scaling is optional, and also make sure you have the grid snapping off. I lied for that part. We're not going to turn it off yet, but we're going to go into shapes, select diamond, and you can either use the dirt texture or the grass texture. In this part, I'm going to be using the dirt texture. And for the color, you can use any color you want. I'm just going to go with the standard green color. And I'm just going to draw out a diamond shape just like that. And now, once we have that single shape done, we can then turn off grid snapping. And I'm going to manipulate until I get the rough shape of how I want my diamond to look. So I'm going to use that as good. So it's not too wide on top and it's not too big of a slant. And now once we have our basic shape, we're just going to scale it up a decent size. And about that size is good. I'm going to scale it up a tiny bit more, and from here you can manipulate it a bit more so you have a feel to how you would want your terrain to look. So I'm just going to shrink the cliffs a tiny bit. Now once we have that, we can turn on clone, and now we're not going to use any of these arrows. So you have green, red, blue, and then white. We're just going to click randomly and you're going to drag it. And you can always enable grid if you want your landscape to be flat. So I'm going to show you how it looks like with grid on for now. So with grid, as you can see, it stays leveled until you start messing around with it. And again, as I said in the last tutorial, I'm sorry about my game freezing every now and then. It's been an issue ever since the hair update. So it would be nice if they could fix it soon, but until then they're just going to put up with it. So now what I'm doing is I'm sort of making a hill by repeatedly cloning the diamond shape. And now every piece of terrain is unique. You don't need to be following my tutorial exactly. You can just go off of what I'm saying. So once I have about that size, I'm going to use the select tool on my maker pen and hold down the trigger. That will make a circle. Whatever enters that circle will be selected. And now I'm going to go back to cloning. And now I'm just going to move this up a bit so there's more back here. And this is the simplest you can get with terrain, with it looking okay. In later tutorials of terrain, I will go more in depth of how you can make better and proper looking terrain using tubes and other shapes. As you can see, I started one tie there. I'm just gonna bring it down to about right here. And now from this point, I'm going to decide, hey, I want to make this just sort of a pond landscape. Sorry, I didn't mean to fall through it. So we're going to reopen our palette. I'm going to select a cube, and I'm going to select just cyan, because that's a decent color of blue. Now, my material choice for water is going to be sparkly vinyl. It's the red one on the second page. And let's have it about right here. And I'm just going to make it small for now. And then I'm going to use the manipulate tool on my maker pen to determine its shape from there. Now I might bring it down just a tiny bit. This is the easiest way to add water, it's just with cubes. And yeah, I'm just gonna move it down a tiny bit with the move tool on our maker pen. And that seems about a good height. I'm actually gonna move it up just a tiny bit so you can see underneath those diamonds over there. Now I like how this looks, and now say I want a mountain in the background. So we're gonna go back to our diamond shape. I'm gonna select the rock, and on the very last page of colors, I'm just gonna use this color. Again, you don't have to use the exact materials and colors I'm using. I'm just using them. I'm just using the colors and materials I find that I like the most, that fits well in terrain. Now once you have that, I'm just gonna scale it up a good bit, and now manipulate the bottom part of your stone till you get something like this. And now we can continue cloning. And I will repeat myself when I say this. Terrain is unique. There's no pattern to it. So have fun with making it look how you want it. So I'm just adding a simple little mountain range in the back. Nothing crazy, nothing too complicated. Again, using the diamond tool. I'm just gonna bring it up to about right here. I'm just gonna add some depth onto the mountain by adding a second layer of diamonds to it. And now I can bring this back here. Again, you want to add layers onto your build, onto your terrain especially, because it creates depth. It adds some character to it. It makes it look more random. Definitely hides the fact that it's diamond shape, even though once you know it's diamond shape, it's sort of hard to get it out of your head like, hey, it's diamond. Now I'm actually gonna not have that there, and I'm gonna finish bringing the grass terrain over to here. So again, I'm gonna use the select tool on my maker pen, and I'm just gonna hold down the trigger. And once I have that, it's a decent sized chunk, and now I'm just gonna line it up with everything. Make sure this it's not too steep. Make sure it's not too obvious that it's copy and paste. That's the big thing you want to do. Is whenever you're cloning, you do not want it to look like that you're cloning. And now once we have that, we can actually select, and then on that, instead of it selecting everything, when you hold down the trigger, this circle will be red, which means it will deselect everything. And now I'm just going to select a single diamond again of our landscape, and I'm just sort of going to start towering it up over here so it's more flush with the mountain, makes it look like there's a hill. And now what I'm actually going to do now is I'm just going to, my apologies for that one, I'm just going to manipulate it so it's a bit more steeper. So about right there. Now I'm just going to move it over here. And continue cloning. Now I can go on this single tutorial video for hours showing you guys how to go further in depth with your terrain, how to make it, how to clean it up, how to terraform, all this stuff. I'm planning on making just a short little workshop for this. If you guys want to check it out, it will be in the middle of August if I do end up doing it, but I'll let you guys know either via YouTube video or on my Instagram, which my Instagram will be in the description below. And let's just say that's good for now. And now what we're gonna go through all our sort of diamonds in our landscape, and we're just going to delete anything that seems just out of place or not needed. This is what I'm going to refer to as terraforming. So something that you can get rid of to make it look better, go for it. As you can see, that it adds some character to the pond, but not much. So I'm actually gonna get rid of it, because since it's terrain, sort of these very long straight lines seems unnatural. I know it's all diamonds, but yeah. And I'm actually, for now, I'm gonna get rid of these steep ones in the back, and I'm just gonna go around seeing what's unnatural looking, and I'll get rid of it and judge by then. So far it's looking decent, surprisingly well for copy and paste. And now what we can do about our mountain here, since it seems a bit unnatural, I'm going to use the rotate tool, and I'm actually going to turn off grid snapping for now and just rotate it to give it some character, so you don't see all these triangle sides of the diamond. Even over here, you can just rotate it however you want. It doesn't matter how you rotate it, just as long as you make it until you seem like it fits well. And as you can see, there's sort of an indent there, but that's fine, because eventually in a later part we're going to add in a little waterfall here, and I'll show you guys step by step how to do it. And for now, that's going to be part 1 of training. In later parts we're going to go over how to smooth this out better, and in tomorrow's part we're going to go over trees, and then eventually we're going to go over plants and things you can put in the pond. But until then, let me just get out my camera, since I don't have a streaming camera. This is the best I can do for now. So, hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Hope you learned something new about the diamond shape that was just added a few weeks ago. The first time I saw the diamond shape, I didn't know what I was going to use it for, and this seems like a perfect use for it. Nice abstract landscape. But until tomorrow's tutorial, I'll see you guys. Goodbye.